In this exercise, you will use the landscape template to create a layout tab for a B-size sheet in Paperspace. You will also insert the landscape drawing into ModelSpace and copy the plant list into Paperspace. I'm going to begin by opening up the landscape template file that we previously created, and I'm going to go to the Layout 1 tab down at the bottom of the drawing area and rename it by right-clicking and selecting Rename from the pop-up dialog box. I'll call it B-size layout, and after I rename it, I'm gonna right-click on it again and select Page Setup Manager from the pop-up dialog box. I will click on the Modify button here in the Page Setup Manager. And for the printer plotter, I'm going to choose an Adobe PDF. For the paper size, I will select 11 by 17 since it's a B-size sheet. And for the plot area, what to plot, I'm going to select the layout. I'll say OK. I'll close that out. You may have noticed that the paper sheet here in the B-size layout tab got considerably bigger. Now I want to create and apply a custom viewport with a scale of 1 inch equals 20 feet. And I can do that by double-clicking inside of the existing viewport to switch from Paperspace to ModelSpace. And down at the status bar, it indicates I'm in Paperspace as well. And the dark heavy border for the viewport, along with the view cube and other information here, lets me know that I'm in ModelSpace within this viewport as well. Down on the status bar is where I can change my viewport scales, and there are some predetermined scales that are available. 1 inch equals 20 feet is not one of those scales, and so I'm going to need to scroll down to the bottom and select Custom to create a custom scale. I'll click on the Add button here within the Edit Drawing Scales dialog box, and I will call this scale name 1 inch equals 1 foot. The scale properties are 1 to 240. That's the scale factor of the drawing. There are 240 inches in 20 feet. That's another way of looking at the scale factor. I'll say OK here, and I'll say OK again. And now when I go back to my viewport scales, I should have one called 1 inch equals 20 feet. It looks like I improperly named this one. So let me go back to Custom Properties and edit this. I want to edit this to read 1 inch equals 20 feet. That was my mistake. And the scale properties remain the same at 1 to 240. I'll say OK. I'll say OK again. And now when I go down to Viewport Scales to select it, there it is right up at the top. 1 inch equals 20 feet. I will select that, and it immediately resizes that viewport. I'll quickly do a zoom all, Z enter, A enter, and then I will go in to the landscape layers drawing and insert the landscape drawing into ModelSpace. I'll click on the ModelSpace tab and I'll type in insert. I'm going to look for the drawing called landscape layers that we previously created. I'll say OK. I'm going to locate it within the viewport here in model space. And then I'll go back to my B-size layout, and you'll see that that inserted model appears here within the viewport as well. I'm going to double click outside of my viewport to get back into Paperspace, and then I'm going to resize this viewport to fit in the left corner, or the left side of this drawing. And I'll bring it down a little here, resizing it. Notice I can use grips with it. I'll double click within the viewport again. I'll do a zoom all to make it a little bigger. I'll double click outside. Now I'm back in Paperspace. I can resize this a little bit more. I'm going to push it over in the corner a bit. And what I'm doing here is I'm just adjusting my viewport to fit the limits that I've set up for this viewport in model space. And I may need to go back down to the viewport scale and rescale it 1 inch equals 20 feet. Okay, that viewport is correctly sized now. So I'm going to go ahead and select it and put it on the proper layer, which is the viewports layer. That's that yellow colored layer. I also want to add the general notes, the title block, and the border, and the plant list. I'll start with the plant list. And to get to that plant list, I need to open the landscape layers drawing. So I can do that, and here's my landscape layers drawing. Remember, the plant list was created in the layout tab in Paperspace, and what I'll do here is just to copy it. So I'll select it with grips, and then I'll right click and I'll go to clipboard, copy with base point. I'll select the base point as the upper left corner, and then I'll go back to my landscape template drawing, and I will right click in my B-size layout, and I'll say clipboard, paste, and I'll paste it down in the lower left corner. Right, looks like I have my midpoint object snap on, but right in the lower left corner. Let me turn off my object snap, and that way I can get in the lower left corner a little bit better. Click, and now I'll go back into my rectangle command, and I want my borders to be on the border layer. With that rectangle command, I can click in the upper left corner and the lower right corner. If I turn my line weights on by clicking on the show hide line weights, it should show up as a thick layer, or a thick line, and you can see that it does. I need another rectangle up here to represent my general notes section, so I'll put that in there, and then I'll do one more over here to represent my title block. And I can go into my dynamic text to put in my text. If I go to the annotate tab, I'm using the title here. So I'll go J for justify, MC for middle center. I'll click in the center here, and then I'll type in title block in all caps. I'm going to switch my text style from the title text style to the notes text style, and then I'll write in my general notes, again using my dynamic text. This time for justification I'll do TL for top left. I'll click up here, and I'll type in my general notes, If you want to center that, you can use grips to center those. However, it looks good. And with that, I have created my landscape layout with a plant list, a title block, a section for general notes, and a viewport with a custom scale of 1 inch equals 20 feet.